You are about to listen to a Jason Burgos exclusive interview. I'm good. I'm excited to talk to you. I've been wanting to talk to you for the entirety of season one. I often ask.
Well, we finally made it.
Yeah. And it took Carlos leaving to do it because I kept on asking. I would usually get Carlos instead. Nothing against Carlos. I always enjoy talking to him. But
Right. Yeah.
But glad to find touch. I have a bunch of questions. So I'll jump right into it. The first question is, how long did you know about the ESPN deal being worked on, and can you explain how much more reach being on ESPN2 and ESPN Plus will give you compared to the previous deal where you guys were on NBC Sports and Facebook?
We've been, in talks with them since, I want to say, probably mid-year last year. And obviously we were talking to a few others, other networks as well. But in terms of the reach, I mean, we're talking about the premier of premieres in terms of, what their global reach is. And, I mean, obviously our fighters are very fortunate and to be performing on ESPN, which the outreach goes, global. And, I mean, we're just very fortunate that we were able to, that they believe in what we're doing and they like what we're doing. And so we were able to get this deal done and have our fighters, or have our second season kick off this year with ESPN and ESPN Plus.
Now, you said you were working on it since mid-year. Now, I don't know about like TV deals, stuff like that. I don't know if that's the normal, but I was wondering, did it take, going through a full season for ESPN and seeing you guys do a playoff, do a championship, give out $1 million checks? Do you think that swayed them a little bit, even though despite having UFC, they're like, damn, we got to get PFL too. This is a great product.
Right. Yeah. No. Absolutely. Obviously, they were watching what we were doing, and so they obviously, again, like I said, I think they obviously needed to watch the whole show to see how it's presented on television, and how MMA it's being put into a league format for the first time. And so, obviously they're used to seeing, NBA, NFL, baseball and whatnot, but they've never seen it in the MMA format. And so I'm sure that they wanted to, I'm sure that they looked at it and wanted to see how it was all going to unfold. And so once the World Championship, the championship in season one was done, with 6 world champions, with 6, world champions and bouts, staying in the cage with $1 million check each, I think, that gave him a full understanding of what we were doing. And so, little things here and there needed to be worked out, and we came to a deal. So it was really rewarding, but at the same time, we were jumping up and down once we were able to finalize the deal, and really just, again, like I said yesterday in some of the interviews I did, that it just solidifies who we are as PFL and what we're doing, and that there's a need for it in the sport, and so we're very happy, and we look forward to a long partnership with them.
Now, I mean, it was common conversation in a lot of MMA circles. I mean, we've even talked about it on the podcast I do with Sherdog, how big of a deal ESPN's brand being along with the UFC, and that was a big deal for the UFC. I mean, you guys are a different situation, early days, second year of the season. For you personally and for the staff, how important is that? How big of a deal is that to market now and do advertising with that ESPN brand next to your PFL brand? How big of a deal is that now and in the long term?
Oh, it's definitely, the biggest thing that's not only one of the most important needs for PFL, but also the biggest, not only deal, but also the networking itself. I mean, you have the ESPN brand next to the PFL brand. It just, like I said, it just solidifies who we are. It just says, hey, listen, we're here to stay. this format works. We have some great fighters under our banner, and so get ready for the ride. And I couldn't be any happier to be able to be part of the ESPN family. And so it's really huge news for us, and an achievement in the sense of being able to get our fighters on that platform.
Now, March is going to be a big month, and now you're going to be rolling out the finalized roster, so I definitely want to talk about that. Preparing the roster, I mean, everyone knows the format now, so you don't really have to sell managers and fighters on how it works and all that stuff. Is the situation easier this time around compared to last time? Are you getting a lot more managers and fighters, all during the season, like, look, we want to be a part of this, So does it make you have more of an ability to be selective for season 2 and really make this an even better roster, everybody knowing how it all works?
Right. You basically answered the question, and that within that question, yes, 100%. 100%. It's a lot easier this year because there's a lot more fighters. I mean, like, I'm sitting here with 6 weight divisions with the top 12 guys, and then in every weight class I have 28 to 34 guys to pick from. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So, and just like last year, we finalized the roster, but by the time we were a month or maybe 5 weeks out from the show, we lost like 3 guys, and from different weight classes because they got hurt during training. So we were able to fill that spot real quick, and this year it's even better. And so we're I'm super excited about the second season this year, and marrying that together with ESPN, it's a win-win combination.
Now, outside of Americans and Brazilians, which are almost a given in any MMA promotion, which the season 1 roster had a healthy dose of Dagestani fighters, which I would assume Ali Abdelaziz has an influence with that. He has a clear path to a lot of those fighters. Should we expect even more fighters from Dagestan in season 2? And is there another region you may pull more fighters from, like say Japan in season 2?
Yes, we have been talking to Japan. We got a couple of matter of fact, I just finalized a couple of Chinese guys for season 2. Talking to a guy out of Norway now. So obviously PFL is global, and we are having a lot of global distribution worldwide as well now. And so, obviously we want to keep it. We have a guy out of Australia. They were looking at a couple of guys in New Zealand. The people out of France. So definitely it's like I said, PFL is global, and we want to get all these talents that are available, good talents that are available right now. From around the world.
Now, I recently interviewed Camo McLaren, the CEO of Combate, and I had a good conversation in terms of how they do their roster and build a roster. And they had a guy in Mexico. They had a guy in Spain. They did scouting trips to different countries. Do you do something similar to that? Do you have, contacts or main people like scouting, talent relations in different regions? Like, how does PFL scour the globe to get some of the best talent out there?
Well, I think not only through the managers that we work with already, who have pretty much an outreach worldwide. So a lot of them reach out to us, and we reach out to some of them as well. And then somehow they're connected to that person, to this person, and it gets back to the manager that we're already working with. So it's not that we have a scout out there for every country. It's just that we have a huge outreach, as well as all these managers like Ali, like Nima, like Daniel Rubenstein. These guys have, they're bringing us fighters from China. So, you know what I mean? So they have a reach where they have guys from around the world that they work with, and that kind of contact. So, it's been fantastic. It makes it a lot easier for us.
Now, in the same conversation with Campbell, he talked about their roster strategies to find strikers that are learning to becoming and evolve into grapplers instead of, say, grapplers that are in terms turning into strikers. Because they want action packed. That's their kind of thing. That's what they want to do.
Right.
Do you particularly, because you are the man in charge of rosters and finding the fights, do you have a particular strategy for what you looking for? Are you looking for strikers? Are you looking for grapplers? Are you looking for all around? Like, what is your strategy?
This is MMA. I'm looking for everybody. But everybody, I'm looking for everybody. Like, I love the ground as well. So long as the guy is active on the ground, I have no problem with that. The only time I'm definitely not looking for a guy that just wants to take a guy down and be a wet blanket. That's not the guy I'm looking for. Mm-hmm. I'm looking for a guy that takes the guy down, look to pass the guard, look to get side mount, look to mount, and look for a finish, ground and pound, or even a submission. So. I love wrestlers that can actually, stand and bank, because they can take you down at any time they wish, mm-hmm. and then they can, trade with you. So those are kind of guys. Obviously, I'm signing, guys that are kickboxers who also have learned how to defend the takedown, how to scramble and get back on their feet. 100%. We all want exciting fighters. We all want guys that. But I'm not looking for one particular guy. I'm looking for a guy that's all around, all well-rounded in the game of mixed martial arts, whether he's standing, whether it's going to go to ground, So I'm definitely. I mean, obviously, excitement is number one key, because people come to see see action, not see a guy just lay there. So you know what I mean. And so those are the guys. And I think we did pretty good with that last year in the first season. Because there was a lot of finishes. I think the percentage was like 65 to 70% finishes off last year's season. So I think we're going to look to better that percentage for 2019.
Now, fighters that reach the semis are automatically entered in season one, so giving you 24 fighters to start. Now, I want to ask about good fighters, or really good fighters that maybe didn't make the semis or maybe didn't make the playoffs. I mean, give me as much information as you can. I know, you're still rolling out, you're unveiling this stuff, but I'll give you a few names I'm interested in. For one, Will Brooks. Do you foresee him coming back?
No, Will Brooks has already been released. No, he won't be coming back.
Juma Bieki Turshon, he main evented 2 of the PFLs this year. Is he going to be back?
Right. He's a tough guy, but he didn't produce the results. Listen, he, is durable and he's really tough, but he wasn't able to win the fight in the regular season. So no, he won't be coming back.
One of my personal favorites, the Mama's boy, Kelvin Tiller.
Kelvin Tiller.
Yes, one of my boys.
He's, that guy is, and my biggest advice to him was, listen, try and lose 15 to 20 pounds, and you're going to, because, we saw him knock out a guy, we saw him submit a guy, so he's all around, those are the kind of guys that I want, you know what I mean, can finish a fight, doesn't matter where it is, whether standing or on the ground, and so just to give you something to throw you out there, Kelvin Tiller's coming back.
Nice. I mean, I saw on Instagram that he's out of eating meat. He's eating clean. He's getting lean. I mean, he's clearly taken what you told him to heart. Jake Shield, I had a deep conversation with him a few months back about retirement. Have you two sides talked at all? Do you get an indication if he is coming back, if he's interested in fighting again or not?
Jake Shields. I mean, listen, love Jake Shields. He's definitely one of the guys that really came out and put it on the line, and he's always been a gamer. So right now his situation is I think waiting on his manager to get back to us and just see what he's doing. But that's kind of on hold right now.
Now, a guy that interviewed during the season, great during the season, unfortunately got injured. But I mean, this seems like a given. But Joao Zeffirino.
Joseph Reno, yes. Again, when he came out, and I think his first regular season fight, he stopped Paul Bradley with, a rally of punches that shocked everybody, really. Mm-hmm. I'm sure he did that in training, and but it took everybody by surprise where this black belt jiu-jitsu guy knocks out a guy that a pretty solid guy as well. So Cifrino is definitely is one of our guys as well. So.
All right, last one for these fighters. This might also be a no-brainer, but you never know. He missed weight twice. Efrain Escudero.
Yeah, no, we're definitely bringing him back.
All right, interesting.
Absolutely not.
I'm kidding. I was gonna say, I'm surprised. Like, really? Oh, wow, you like? I don't know. I figured as much of that.
Well, we gave him 2 opportunities,
exactly.
and he sent off both times, and I'm like, no, this can't happen again. You know what I mean? So, yeah, no, he's definitely gone.
Now, women's featherweight has long been a division that had issues with depth, and it's always been top-heavy. Cyborg, Gina Carano, stuff like that. The UFC and Bellator have problems with it now. I would imagine some fighters in the new lightweight division will come from 145. What has the process been like to fill this first-ever women's lightweight division? I mean, has it been more difficult than you expected? Has it been easier? What has it been like?
Actually, to be honest with you, I thought it might be difficult, but it turned out to be. It's been easier than I thought, and maybe because I thought it was going to be difficult, maybe that's the reason why it's become easier. You know how things are.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're looking for something, and you put it there, and you look for it, and you look all over the house, and it's exactly where you left it. You know what I mean? So, and you go, what the hell? So it's just kind of like, this scenario is like, I'm like, no, I don't know if this is going to work, blah, blah, blah. And then when we started looking at fighters and started reaching out, there's actually more 55s out there than I thought. Yeah.
Interesting.
So, it's been a fun process putting that together, the female division. And I think we're going to be surprised, with some of these with these women these talents and these 55ers.
Yeah, because that's the question everybody's gonna be asking: are they gonna be able to present someone that can beat Kayla Harrison? Clearly, she's the favorite. Do you feel confident that you're gonna have some interesting tests for Kayla Harrison this year?
Oh yeah, no, 100%.
Is
the people that it ain't gonna be easy for Kayla. That's for sure. I can tell you that now.
Is it finalized the whole roster, or are you still working on it?
We're just waiting on one more girl to be confirmed. But I mean, actually, let me see where. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. There's like 27 girls.
Wow.
That I get picked from. But we're just waiting on one girl to fill the 12th spot. So,
all right.
Yeah, no, like I said, it surprised Jason and I as well, because, we were like, okay, this is going to be probably the toughest part that we're going to be, dealing with.
Yeah.
But, it actually it surprised us. And so we're fortunate. I mean, obviously some of these girls also come from 45 that have gone up to 55. And they believe that, that they walk. I'm told that a lot of these girls at 45 walk around at, 168, 170. Okay. And I'm like, okay, cool. So, making the 155 division, it's obviously a lot easier cut for them.
Yeah. I've been told that the men's middleweight division is being, taken out from this upcoming season. What was like the reasoning for this decision? And, is it at all like budget related? Like you have a budget for a certain amount of weight class and adding the women's lightweight had an effect on it? Like why no middleweight this year?
Well, one, we definitely added the female division. And 2, TV time doesn't allow us to put, all that, because there's so many to do, 7 or 8 weight classes. So we kind of had to cut it down a bit, but, you never know. Next year might be different. We may bring it back again. So right now, as it stands, we decided to just stay with the 6 weight classes. And then, as we move forward, we'll look at it again and see what works.
Now, outside of women's lightweight, was there any divisions you would have liked to introduce if it was up to you, like maybe bantamweight possibly, or even like a 165-pound division, which a lot of UFC fans has been clamoring for? Any other divisions that you were interested in, maybe for season 3 or 4?
You know what? To be honest, I haven't looked that far yet. But yeah, the 135 division is a solid division as well. And so that's definitely. Listen, if we're able to add on another division, definitely I'll bring back the 85ers, and of course the 135ers.
Now, two more questions. I really appreciate your time. How much of a loss is it to lose, your World Series of Fighting PFL wingman in Carlos Silva? And will it be odd to no longer do those unique two men at one podium press conference any longer?
Yeah, no, it's I mean, Carlos is a brother. I love that guy, and it's obviously very sad for us to lose him, but I truly understand that he's been given an opportunity presented that he couldn't say no to. And I was a little bit confused at first, but once he said, Ray, I've been playing tennis since I was 6 years old, and so once he put it in those terms, I know exactly. I mean, I had my first boxing gloves from my father when I was 5 years old, and I was sparring at 5. So I know exactly what he's saying. You know what I mean? And so the opportunity was a big, big opportunity, and I truly understand it. I mean, obviously he's definitely missed, but he's just a phone call away. And so nothing but love and respect for Carlos. He's a great guy.
Now, the site still has you listed as president of fighting operations. Do you foresee taking on that league president role, or do you think is that going to stay open for a while?
Yeah, no, that's pretty much the role now. It's just going back to president. We just Carlos, Pete and I and Jim have kind of taking on some of what Carlos did. So it's kind of shared between 3 to 4 guys. So it's not bad.